Disclaimer, I am not making any big point at all with these videos. These are just my thoughts, and you are definitely allowed to disagree with me. The Paper Mario series began in the year 2000 with the release of Paper Mario 64 in Japan. This wasn't the first Mario RPG, but a spiritual sequel to Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. Even so, it took a completely different take on the RPG concept, with a new battle system, new partners, paper-style graphics, and a completely different world design, taking on full 3D instead of 2.5D, and breaking free from Super Mario RPG's world map. From the very beginning, I think the thing that really was special about Paper Mario 64 was the fact that it never quite forced itself to be an RPG. Sure, RPG is the genre it fits into best, but Paper Mario 64 was able to add that Mario platforming magic and personality to the old RPG formula to create a game like no one had ever seen before. In between all the RPG-ness, there were platforming elements squished in, and the battle system was spectacular, wonderfully combining action with a turn-based battle system with different partners, all with different abilities. The story had a specific charm that you just can't not fall in love with. It was lighthearted, but still captivating. Paper Mario 64 was just different enough from other RPGs to create a new experience, but not so new to feel foreign or alien. In 2004, after Paper Mario 64, we were gifted with the 1,000-year door for the GameCube. It polished up all the mechanics from the last game, introduced brand new partners, and had an incredible story. It had all the same charm as the last one, but this time it was real. I just recently finished a playthrough of this one, and I can honestly say it's one of my favorite games of all time. After this though, it's generally thought that the Paper Mario series went downhill. Super Paper Mario for the Wii, Sticker Star for the 3DS, and Color Splash for the Wii U all separated from the formula that made Paper Mario great. However, while many people are under the assumption that the earliest two games were better than any of the later installments, I would like to propose that these two games make up only one of 3 distinct personalities inhabited by the Paper Mario series since its inception: the RPG personality. After TTYD, the series appeared to have lost its bearings, falling into an identity crisis, jumping between several different genres. I would like to argue that while none of these personalities are explicitly better than the others, because of this identity crisis, we end up with many different types of Paper Mario fans, who all seem to be unhappy. This topic is of great interest to me, because even though up to now I've been sucking up to Paper Mario 64 and the 1,000-Year Door, my first Paper Mario game was actually Sticker Star. It wasn't until maybe about a year later when I used some of my Club Nintendo points to get Paper Mario 64 for the Wii Virtual Console. I played through and enjoyed both games over the course of my childhood, and I never even knew that these two games were supposedly at each other's throats. So I think that it's appropriate to next talk about the Paper Mario game I started with. The game most people consider the true mark of when the series went bad: Paper Mario Sticker Star. Even though its level map was sort of a bad idea, and its story kind of went back to the old Turtle Man takes cute princess trope of old, it still retained the humorous writing and personality of the first games. And I honestly think the battle system was an interesting idea, which realized its full potential. The battle system is what mostly defines this type of Mario game. You don't level up with experience. Instead, you use items to attack, which gradually become more powerful as the game progresses. This can lead to some problems, of course, where If you run out of items, you have to go find some or buy some from the store. And it also means that there isn't too much of a reason to battle enemies. But honestly, the idea was gonna be dangerous, no matter what they did. And Nintendo used it in the best way, minimizing the problems. Color Splash elaborated on this battle system, adding some extra mechanics and smoothing out some rough edges, kind of like the Thousand Year Door and Paper Mario 64. Another thing unique to these two games, though, are the paper mechanics. While the first three games used a paper-style graphic scheme, it wasn't until Sticker Star when they really capitalized on the idea of a paper world, introducing new puzzles taking advantage of the fact that the world really is made out of paper, and introducing a new type of item called the Thing. For this reason, I'm calling these two games the gimmicky personality of Paper Mario. Even though Super Paper Mario was actually the first game to break away from the formula of the first two games, for some reason Sticker Star gets all the flack, usually being considered the point at which the series turned bad. I really think it just comes down to the fact that Super Paper Mario was so different, it left an impression that was of more shock than anger. I'm sure many people were convinced it was some sort of spin-off of the Paper Mario series, because it just didn't seem like the same game at all. Sticker Star is important not because it was the first to break the Paper Mario formula, but because it was the second. The proof that Nintendo really was done with it. Ultimately, I think Super Paper Mario fit into the category of 2D platformer more than anything else. For its battles, it not only avoided EXP, but a turn-based battle system altogether, in favor of a more action-based combat style. However, it had a story beyond what had been seen in any Mario platformer ever, and arguably the best story of any Paper Mario game seen before or after. Super Paper Mario was actually the best-selling Paper Mario game of all time, but that's probably mostly to do with the fact that it was on the Wii, which meant over 100 million potential customers. Super Paper Mario is all alone as the one game making up the 2D platformer personality of Paper Mario. So then, why are people so angry about Paper Mario changing? The games never really got any worse, they just moved on to more innovative ideas. Clearly, all the people complaining about the Paper Mario series are just afraid of change, completely governed by nostalgia. Right? No, not quite. I mean, how many times have you seen a game just switch genres? Not very often at all. And when it does, it usually takes the form of a spin-off. People were comfortable and happy with the genre and format of Paper Mario 64 and TTYD, and then it just changed, never to be made the same way again. The games many people grew up playing were gone forever. The 2D platformer personality and the gimmicky personality are so different from the RPG personality, they might as well have just gone all the way and officially ended the Paper Mario series in 2007 and started a new one. It's a feeling of betrayal. Like, Nintendo just canceled the Paper Mario series, a favorite for many people, without any great send-off. Like, they were just sweeping it under the rug. I think the real question is, why would Nintendo change the Paper Mario series, as perfect as it was? I really don't think it was out of any greed, laziness, or Miyamoto meddling, like many people have suggested. Even though the sales numbers don't make things perfectly clear, modern Paper Mario games are definitely not making any more money than the RPG personality games. When you add that to the very vocal group of people protesting against these new Paper Mario games, it seems to be a mystery as to why Nintendo is working against both the interests of themselves and the majority of their fans. I think it really just comes down to the fact that the developers of the first two games got bored with the format of the RPG personality. Paper Mario 64 was created from a desire to break away from the formula of Super Mario RPG and other RPGs at the time, to create something truly unique. In a 2007 Nintendo of Europe interview with Kensuke Tanabe and Ryota Kawade, Ryota said that Super Paper Mario came from a legitimate desire to surprise people with brand new features within the Paper Mario concept. Even though all the Paper Mario staff probably didn't share these feelings, I think they were afraid the Paper Mario series might become another one of those watered-down formulas which the Paper Mario series was created to break away from. Whether these fears for the Paper Mario series were accurate or not is up to you. But since most of the developers left after Super Paper Mario, I think it's safe to assume that most of the developers of the first two games wanted to leave the series anyway after TTYD. But it was these fears for the series that kept them for one more game. They wanted to leave the Paper Mario series to do different things, but they didn't want Nintendo to reuse their Paper Mario RPG formula to oblivion after they left. So I think they made Super Paper Mario as a proof of concept, to show future Paper Mario developers that Paper Mario didn't have to be locked into just one genre. However, I think we all know what the result of that philosophy is. Even though I'd argue that Paper Mario's identity crisis stemmed from a legitimate desire to keep the series fresh, the problem this brings up in the modern day is that because there are 3 different types of Paper Mario game under the same name, there are also 3 different types of Paper Mario fans under the same name. Fans of Sticker Star and Color Splash want to see another gimmicky game, using a similar battle system and even more paper mechanics. Fans of 64 and The Thousand Year Door want another RPG game, restoring the format of old and bringing it back to a whole new generation. And Super Paper Mario fans are just thrown all over the place, just wishing Nintendo would simply acknowledge the existence of this black sheep of the Paper Mario series. So, what does this mean for Paper Mario Switch? Does this mean that anyone's hopes for a future RPG personality Paper Mario are dashed? Maybe. I mean, the developers of the original 2 games haven't made too many comments on the different directions the series has taken. Kensuke Tanabe said in 2007 that they weren't planning on going back to the same format as before, in favor of fresh ideas. But you never know. And with the recent outcry for a return to form following the release of Color Splash, anything is possible. If I had to guess though, I'd say that it's most likely the next game will be a completely different personality entirely. But because of the split fan base, I'd say that the best course of action would be to combine the best parts of these 3 personalities to create an experience which is both fresh and recognizable. There could be so many ways to do this, and some of them could fail spectacularly, but I really think that if there is an answer to the Paper Mario problem, this is where it lies. In the end then, I think we can all agree that no matter what type of game we enjoyed the most, it will be extremely interesting to find out what Nintendo is doing next with the series. I'm personally really split on this myself, but I hope I helped you see the Paper Mario series in a slightly different way. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you think I should do next. When I originally made my last video, I thought I'd be able to stick with monthly uploads, but now I realize that's a slightly unrealistic goal, so you probably shouldn't start expecting my next video till late July. Thanks for watching.